Okay, so we're going to talk with our judges a little bit, give them a chance to talk. They've had to sit there quiet all day. So we'll start over here with Terry. Terry, give me kind of your rundown of the day.
I thought all three of them had a different colt, and they all three handled a little bit different. And you can't say anybody's wrong till it's over. And that's what's going to tell the ticket.
So if you were going to, nope, I'm not going to answer that question. I was going to ask you about scores, but I'm going to leave that one alone. And I can't ask you which horse was your pick yet either. So when you compare this year to past years, where do you think we are today at the end and compared to other years?
I think we're really close. I mean, there's been times, like I've done it every 7 years. I've been here for the whole deal. And I think the colts are really close, and the competitors are doing just about what everybody's done in the past. You got your good, the ones that come along really quick, and you got the ones that are kind of slagging a little bit. And tomorrow's going to make the day for everybody to catch up.
All right, perfect. Ruben, give us your short version of today.
Well, I just think the first day is always the hardest. I think the time there puts pressure on them. The colts are trying to figure out how far they can push the colts, how far they can get, their timing. They're trying to figure out their timing. And I just think that today all three of them did very well. They set themselves up for tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow, see what happens tomorrow. Good job, all three of them.
I think you said that really well. Today is a difficult day, and it sets them up so much for tomorrow. In fact, I just was speaking to Ridge over there, and I told him, I think that last 3 minutes is so crucial for tomorrow. Like, that's, as a competitor, that last 3 minutes is not about today. That's about tomorrow. Yeah, all right, perfect. Thank you. Jared, what do you think?
Well, Ken, it's so easy to get hung up when that colt gets hung up. And all three of these trainers, it's easy to get tunnel vision and to get hung up, but they all three kind of broke themselves loose and ended up really making great progress with these young horses. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
I appreciate that. I am too. One of the things that I believe is really important that happened here today is we did not have a cringeworthy moment. There were a few moments where you went, oop, like you might, whoa, I thought it might get kicked right there, but there was never a moment where we went, oh no, what's that? Not once. These trainers really handled themselves quite well and brought the horses along nicely. Well said. All right, Coach Judge Jesse, tell us how it is.
Well, I think we, like everyone else said, we had 3 different horses and 3 different approaches. And it's so interesting to watch things progress because you really don't know what is going through those horses' minds tonight, how they're going to come out the next day. And you can think of this like running a marathon. If you start too hard, you might not have anything left at the end. And so there is something about pacing yourself and letting the horse, having a good pace with the horse so you don't use it all up at the beginning.
So my question for you that I have to ask is, having coached the collegiate team last year, do you see the Colt starting in any different light than you would have any other time?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I don't think so. We all have different backgrounds, of Colt starting and even, what we might show and compete in. And so, we're all going to see things a little differently. And, as far as like the priorities we have in the Colt starting. So like, as far as, we do a little liberty, we do some reining, we do a lot of different things in the end. And so the beginning, the foundation we lay might be we might have different priorities than other people. Because I know, what I want in the end, I might change something at the beginning. And so, we all have different styles. We all have different goals, ultimately. And so, we know how to get there, hopefully.
Perfect. All right, Judge Archer, give us your version of how today went.
Well, when you're the last one asked, you're kind of in trouble because everybody took exactly what I was going to say. And it kept going down like, well, I got to change that, I got to change that. No, I agree. 3 completely different horses, 3 types of training to a degree, but everybody stepped up and did what they needed to get as far at the end of the day as they could. Had some tough starts. But what I would just say to all the competitors is, whenever we're doing like a colt starting clinic, we see this very same thing happen to a degree. Somebody's kind of a little bit ahead of another, but they all end up coming together at the same time. So it's really going to be interesting to watch the next couple of days and see how it goes.
And so I have a question for you.
Okay, Jesse's got a question for me.
So I'm just curious what you think about the change we've made as far as the judging criteria on the first day.
That's a very loaded question for me. I'm a huge fan of the judging criteria for the first day because, to be dead honest with you, we watched one horse lope around under saddle and one horse barely get under saddle, but that doesn't necessarily, with the judging criteria, give that person a huge lead, because what was judged was the horses and the trainer's demeanor throughout the entire piece, their presentation to the public. Those were the things that were actually judged. And so you can draw a horse or you can do a job where you get further, but if things aren't any better, it's not necessarily a lead. On the other hand, if you are behind, you're not necessarily miles behind. You might be behind because of a mistake you made. We talked about it. When that saddle hit the dirt, that was not in Ridge's plan. That was not, when he got up this morning, that was not his thing. Is 15 minutes before we're done today and my horse is going to dump the saddle. That's just how that played out, and that's a little bit, not his favorite moment and a bit of a mistake. But because of the way the judging criteria is set up, it doesn't set him up in a spot where it's impossible for him to come back. And that's what I love about the way it's set up today is he going to be lower on the score sheet than somebody else? Likely. Just because of that moment, likely. But is he now out of the game? No. Because of the way the criteria is set up, he is still very much in the game. His score is still very much relevant. And I've personally seen where the first round can take you out of the game completely. And so I really am a huge fan of this new judging criteria and the way it's being done. I think the score sheet, and that's why I talked about it a bunch today, I think is really important. I think it's important the audience understand it. I think it's important that the competitors understand it. But I think mostly it's important because it gives you guys latitude to see this person is doing a phenomenal job for this colt. He just isn't that colt. And that's what I was talking about earlier. There's no way, a rating pattern is the rating pattern. It's the same pattern, and if you ride it differently, we can judge that. There's no way to do that with colt starting, and so this gives us some latitude inside of that area. I love it. All right, well, thank you guys. Tomorrow's another great day. We'll look forward to it.
Yeah, and Ken, one of the things that Norman and I were talking about this, when you guys put in your navigator or whatever to come here, you were probably given 2 or 3 different options of how to get here, right? Right?
Correct.
And so you pick one, right? And that's what we're going to see here. And so you and I both know, doing this enough, that the destination doesn't change. They will get there.
Right.
All right? But we went 3 different ways to get there.
That's exactly right. And Donald pointed it out. I used to do a Thursday night and a Friday night colt starting in every town I went to. Thursday night I would start a colt. Friday night I would start a colt. And what I noticed is that they would progress. It'd be a 3-hour colt starting demo each night. And they would progress at different rates of speed. But they all ended in the same spot. And I did one in Michigan one time, and I used 2 colts that were half-brothers, and they were literally night and day different, but they ended exactly the same each evening. And that's really what you're going to see. You see a spread right now, but that spread is going to tighten as we go forward and change. It will change in the next couple of days. There's no doubt about it. So it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, day 2 is always my favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, how about giving a round of applause for your moderator and champion here? Give it up for Ken McNabb. Thank you, buddy.